Okay, coming up on bWTM Sports Gaming, we'll be talking about Josh Kelly versus David Avenzini. Post-fight thoughts. Stay tuned. We'll be back. Okay, welcome to bWTM Sports, and let's get straight into this one regarding Josh Avenzini. Josh Kelly, David Avenzini. Well, we told you that Josh Kelly was up next in terms of losing unbeaten records, and we kind of called it right tonight. We didn't get the Rylan Charlton one correct, but we certainly got this one correct. For me, in the build-up, all we kept hearing about is how mature Josh Kelly looked, how much bigger he looked, how much stronger he looked, how much weight he'd put on, how he looked another weight class, how he looked more mature, how he physically is filled out, and how he's been training meticulously, and with all the stuff about Josh Kelly. 2 years on, Josh Kelly's a better man now than he was then. He was a boy then, but he's a man now. Again, paying no attention to David Avenzini's achievements, former world champion, also current European champion, come off 2 big wins against a big puncher and a guy that was rated very highly. The experiences he got from fighting the likes of Lamont Peterson, Sugar Shane Mosley, those things, and even in a defeat, you can gain experience. To me, a lot of people put a lot of stock into Adam Booth, and Adam Booth is this, and Adam Booth is that, and Adam Booth is this. Well, I think people need to take another look at Adam Booth again, because he kept saying that Josh Kelly is the most talented fighter he's seen, probably in the gym, but it hasn't reproduced in the ring. And as far as I'm concerned, this fight, I said that Josh Kelly had Ray Robinson problems, and it's like it was Ray Robinson problems continued. It was like the Ray Robinson fight continued. I said, if Avaneysan can get inside, if David can get inside of Josh Kelly cannot fight on the inside. If he can see his ground, he stands his ground and starts fighting with the better fighter on the inside, he's going to get stopped. And you saw just that. Kelly was good from the start, from the outside, pot shot in front of his shots. He couldn't keep that up, and he didn't have the punching power to keep David off. And then once David got inside and started tagging him with shots, you know who Josh Kelly kind of reminds me of? Same sort of mentality, same sort of behavior. Nathan Cleverly. Josh Kelly and Nathan Cleverly. Josh Kelly and Nathan Cleverly could be brothers, I swear. Long lost brothers, because they seem to have that same sort of mentality about them. And I feel that Josh Kelly, I don't care how old Josh Kelly gets, he's got a few questions to answer. Question number 1 is, when he starts to get on him and he gets put about, can he fight back when he gets put on him? Can he deal with someone who's prepared to walk through all his punches and walk him down and put pressure on him? Do you understand? And does he mentally switch off when a fighter is on him? It's really the same question, really, because I saw it in the Ray Robinson fight. He runs out of ideas, doesn't know what to do. For the first 3 rounds, he's great. Like, I miss the Amir Khan thing. Come out fast, looking great. And the first 3 rounds, he looked fantastic. Adam Booth's got his tactics spot on. He's got him, to catch the punches of Avaneysan. And Booth's done this brilliantly. And so what happens when the punches start flying in? What did Booth say then? What happened when it started getting tasty? What did Booth have to say then? What happened then? And lots of people to jump out. Adam Booth's this, Adam Booth's that. Adam Booth is good with certain fighters, If you can punch hard and you can move, Josh Kelly cannot punch hard. Well, he's not a big puncher. If you look at his record, he's not a big puncher. He's a respectable puncher, but he's not a big puncher. You look at guys like Groves and Hay, that's where he's notably had his successes. Fast hands, sharpshooters, big punchers, and if, you know, and both guys, if you would be Hay or Groves, you know, they can dig down. People say what they want about David Hay. But the Mormek fight got dropped against Mormek. Remember, he fought Lock and Way Lock dropped him as well. You know, he got off the canvas a few times, Hay, to get up and win. You know, Groves had his fights with Carl Froch. You know what I mean? So, and even the way he won his world title, he had to dig down in that fight as well. So, you know, Josh Kelly it's about a show versus substance, and this has been a writing on the wall for a long time. You know, you step up and these things happen. So, unfortunately, you see what I'd like to see. Not really, if I'm a matchmaker now, I make Josh Kelly versus Rylan Charlton, yeah, and then I make Florian versus David. That's the fights I would make now if I was matchmaker. If I'm Conor Benn, I still well away from David Avaneysan. I'll tell you why. Because David Avenzini can punch. He can punch hard and he can box and he takes a good shot. Ben doesn't want to be anywhere near that because I think Ben's chin is very questionable. Very questionable. And he might punch a bit, but he doesn't want to be around someone like David Avenzini. I'm telling you now, this guy's a good fighter, a very good fighter, a very, very good fighter. He's shown he can box, he can punch, he takes a good shot. Yeah, I told you when he gets to work and he goes about his business. I said when he goes about his business, there's no nonsense. And you saw when he actually started tagging Kelly, Kelly didn't know what to do. He started catching. Kelly started trying to get on the inside and trying to fight with a guy who's got. Once Kelly started getting on the inside and trying to bully Avaneysan in the inside, I thought that's it. And the head started going backward. The uppercut started landing. You know, and typical Sky Sports dismissing David Avaneysan when he was fighting, and all of a sudden he got rocked, and it was the end of it. He's always fought with his face. It's not the first time. He's always fought with his face. You know. So all these people say, "Oh, David, Adam Booth," and they'll come back again. They'll come back in the chat and tell me about Adam Booth. So, in terms of this fight, we in the boxing trade knew this was coming, and I mean, you've just got to admit the matchroom stable isn't that good. It's not that great. Not in terms of fighting. This is an opportunity now for all these fighters to step up and become pay-per-view stars. The stable's not that good. Now they're having to all fight and be put in testing fights. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. I don't care who trains Josh Kelly, because I don't care who trains Josh Kelly. Ultimately, it don't matter who Josh Kelly gets trained by. It's the same thing. He needs hard sparring, and he needs to be able to come through storms in sparring and practice to come through that and learn how to handle it being put on him and kept on him, and be able to fight under pressure and come back. Because he hasn't shown me from the Ray Robinson fight, when he starts getting nailed, what to do. He runs out of ideas. He looks great for the first 2 rounds. He looks great. But I don't know. Josh Kelly's got some serious technical, and I would even go to say I'm not even sure if Adam Booth's the right trainer for him. I think that style is not suited for, and if Kelly's going to keep with that style, he's going to have to find a way of replicating the first 3 rounds to 6 rounds to 9 rounds to 12 rounds. See how he boxed for the first 3 rounds? He's got to replicate that for the next 3 rounds. 6 rounds. Replicate it from 6 rounds to 9 rounds, and from 9 rounds to 12 rounds. He's got to learn how to hold. He's got to learn how to get out instead of going straight back in lines. He's got to move from side to side to give lateral movement. He's got to learn not to stay in the pocket for too long, or he's got to learn how to fight on the inside. Best advice is Josh Kelly. When a guy's got up close with you like that, don't try and be macho. Tie the man up, roll out, and go back to doing your work. He's doing some nice work on the outside, but is when he decides to stay in the pocket and hold his feet against a guy who's better than Ray Robinson on the inside, hit hard than Ray Robinson on the inside. The writing's on the wall. The writing's literally on the wall. I don't know how people even thought that Kelly was going to win this fight. I can't understand it really, personally. I can't understand it. Yep, did the chicken dance now, all right. Callum Johnson, wow, that's my boy there, Callum Johnson. I rate that boy, but I love that boy, man. Love Callum Johnson. I don't know what's left in his career or what he's got left, but I rate him highly. He can punch with both hands. You know, anyone who can go to Beterbiev and drop Beterbiev is a serious man, and he wasn't even in that sort of shape. I'd like to see Callum Johnson get 3-4 fights behind him, some momentum, some confidence, and let's see him go again. Josh Kelly, Ray Robinson. Now I want to see Josh Kelly versus Rylan Charlton. I want to see that fight because that's going to be a good fight for Josh Kelly. For Josh Kelly, I'd like to see how Josh Kelly handles, because Rylan Charlton will bring that pressure to him. Charlton will bring that pressure to him. Avenzini is Euro level. This says more about Kelly and Ava. Well, I'm not sure. I don't quite agree with you there, Cameron, because you're calling him European level. The guy was a WBA champion. So I disagree with you there. I strongly disagree with you there. He's above European level as far as I'm concerned. He's above European level. He's a world-class fighter. He might not be an elite fighter. There's a difference between world-class and elite. You call guys like Errol Spence and Terence Crawford elite. You call guys like Avenzini world-class. And then I would probably call Josh Kelly, you know, and I also say that technically, I don't think Adam Boo's right for him. I never thought that style was good for him in the first place. So yeah, but I wouldn't say that. I don't know. He's got youth on his side. Josh Kelly can come again, but that style's not for him. That style is not for him, because when the punches came flying in, he couldn't block them. What's the point of having a style like that and having flashy, and then when the punches start flying in, you know what I mean? You're going to war. Everyone's built like a tank, and when you go to war, your shields are made of glass. What's the point in that? He needs to change trainers. Absolutely change trainers, because again, that booth style is only for certain fighters. It doesn't work for David Price. It doesn't work for Josh Kelly. Josh Kelly needs to have a serious rethink about how he goes about his business, because he also looked tired in there as well. After 3 rounds, he looked like he was blowing at his ass. Yeah, he needs. He needs to know, as Uncle Bashir would say, when to hold them, when to fold them. He needs to know when to throw shots, when he's in the danger zone, and know when he's in the danger zone, how to get out of the danger zone. And when punches are flying, you know, if it's a duck, tie up, or get out of the way. Josh Kelly doesn't know what to do. He just doesn't know what to do when punches start flying his way. Josh Kelly versus Southpaw style doesn't look right. Maybe he needs Errol Spence types, be a body puncher. I don't know. He seems to have decent hand speed. But I don't know about him. His heart is questionable. I mean, when it puts on him, so he just doesn't need to be in certain places. So footwork, Less of this showboating crap. He needs to get down to go down to work, get down to work. Maybe a trainer like Andre Rozier could be interesting for him to work with. A T another trainer I think would be good. Pat Barrett would be very good for Josh Kelly. Do you know what I mean? Some of that old school, old fashioned grit, determination sort of boxing. I think that would be good for Josh Kelly. Someone like Pat Barrett would be good. He'll teach him He'll teach him all the technical stuff, the blocking, the punches and stuff. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe even you might laugh, but I think even Tunde Ajayi might just do well for Josh Kelly. He might do well for Josh Kelly because Josh Kelly likes all that flashy stuff. And I think if you can do that razzmatazz flashy stuff, because you look at that style, even David Haye and George Groves, they're great when they're throwing the big bombs. When the punches start flying back in Groves' direction and in David Haye's direction, you know, and their big punch don't work, they end up in trouble. You understand? So that style is okay to a certain degree, but like I said, when the punches start flying, it's all right looking flash and making a guy miss and making him pay. That's nice. And if that works, you get the guy out there, fantastic. But if you don't get the guy out there and you go into the trenches, what's the plan B? There is no plan B. There is no plan B. There was never a plan B for David Haye. There was never a plan B for George Groves. And there's not a plan B for Josh Kelly. What is Tunde gonna do with Kelly apart from shout lines in the camp with him? Well, I disagree with you that. No, I disagree with you because what you've got here is that Josh Kelly actually was a good amateur boxer, and he had good amateur experience. He's got the fundamentals there. He's got probably better fundamentals than Anthony Yard, and he's achieved more as an amateur. So I think lines in the camp is part of Anthony Yard's thing. You have to look at what you can't just be so one-dimensional in your thinking. He lines in the camp is particularly with Anthony Yard because he's the beast from the east. He feels he's a lion. So lions in the camp, that's his mantra. I don't believe Josh Kelly's going to be lions in the camp. Tunde Ajayi didn't just work with Anthony Yard. There's a host of fighters that Tunde Ajayi has worked with. You understand? Including what's the boy's name? Lightweight fought Josh Taylor. Ahara Davis. Ahara Davis was with Tunde for a while. I think there's quite a few guys who worked with Tunde Ajayi for a while. I think Kevin Mitchell worked with Tunde for a while. Quite a few guys worked with Tunde. So I don't buy this stuff because of the Yard. And look what he's taking Yard with the limited skills that Yard's got. Look what he's taking Yard. So I think people like to jump on bandwagons. Same people will jump on Adam Booth as soon as he starts getting found out. I told you Adam Booth's game plan against for Andy Lee fight was shocking, and the game plan again tonight was shocking for the Avaneysan fight. It was all well and good until Avaneysan stepped to him. And one of the things should be seen, listen, when Avaneysan comes in close, tie the guy up. Let's not try and engage in the early rounds. Let's try and pick this guy up for the jab, catch him with uppercuts when he walks in close. Let's spin him, make him miss, make him pay, use that speed, and the early rounds just try and break him down. All right, just pick him touch him with the jab, and when he gets close, wants to get inside, tie him up, break him up, frustrate him, walk around the referee, and let's get back to work again. You understand? Don't allow this guy to get into any sort of get encouraged. And you saw Kelly when he did it, he shook him up and he hurt him. But then he wants to go and be macho. And that's where he got himself in trouble. He started macho, dropping the hands by the side. Then he gets tagged. And then we know what happens from there on. So, yeah, Josh Kelly got stopped. So I really think in terms of Josh Kelly, There needs to be, first of all, a serious sit down with the young man and say, right, what are you doing with your boxing career? Okay, take a look at the Ray Robinson fight. Take a look at this David Avenzini fight. Tell me what you see the similarities are. These are two fights that you've technically lost. You lost the Ray Robinson fight, and this is a continuation of the Ray Robinson fight. So we have to ask ourselves a few questions. One, are you good enough to be at this level, or do we need to pull you back a bit? Have you been fast tracked? One, two. What exactly do you want to do in your boxing career? What's the vision? What's the plan? You want to be a world champion? Okay. Well, we're gonna have to correct some mistakes here. First of all, you need to stop this showboating. Cut that out. Get rid of the name Pretty Boy Kelly. Forget that stuff. Look, you're not a model. You're a boxer. You know what I mean? So cut that nonsense out. Let's change your mentality. Change your mentality. Let's give you a new vision. Let's give you a whole new setup. This stuff, if you dropping your hands by your side, no, leave that. Leave that alone. Leave that stuff alone. And trying to be like Floyd, leave that stuff alone. You've just got yourself knocked out with a whole heap of nonsense. It's a concept that doesn't work for you. It doesn't work for you. It no longer serves its purpose. You say you've matured, you've got older now, you've got wiser. All right, we'll drop the young kid act. You're a grown man now. Stop that stuff. It's not for you. Let's find something that does suit your style. Let's see if we can. Maybe let's look at someone like Joe Kazaki, who threw a lot of punches. I saw him throw 3, 4 left hooks, and that's how everybody knew Josh Kelly. Let's see if we can get you throwing 4 or 5 punches. Let's see you getting fight. Like, let's see you. I'd like to see someone like Joe Kazaki mentoring Josh Kelly. You know, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see him, even Nathan Cleverly. Again, guys who've got busy work rates, might not be the biggest of punchers, but they had good high work rates. Through a lot of punches, can dazzle you with combinations. That's the sort of thing I like to see from Josh Kelly. You understand? I want to see that kind of fighting from you. You for 4 or 5 punches and get away. If you're either going to go that way and go down the Joe Kazaki route, where you dazzle guys, you might not be a big puncher, but you dazzle guys with 5, 6 punch combinations, or we go down the more traditional, boring style Klitschko, left jab, right hand. You know, not too many uppercuts, not too many body shots. The occasional body shot, but everything off the jab and the right hand. Nice tight defense. Keep it tight, and let's see if we can work from that. But let's give you a different foundation, because the foundation that you've got with Adam Booth will get you knocked out again and will shorten your career. It doesn't suit you. You're not that type of a guy. You're not that guy for that. You're not that guy for that, because when it gets on top of you, you fall apart. And you've fallen apart in a Ray Robinson fight, and you've now got knocked out in this fight, which tells me you've hit a wall. So are you better than that? Yeah, I think you are better than that. Are you in the right place for that? No, I don't think you are. So there needs to be it's almost like your house being built on sand, and everyone knows your house is built on sand, and they saw a little bit of water on the sand, and we saw the house almost fall off. But this time, you had a tornado come and a tsunami come, and your whole house has fallen down. It was only a matter of time before that was going to happen to you. It's happened, and a lot of people in boxing saw it happening. But you tell me where he's improved. I would like you all to tell me where Josh Kelly improved. Oh yeah, he's bigger now. Where's he improved? Where's all this improvement? I would love to know where all this improvement is. What has Adam Booth done with him? Tell me what was different between that fight and the Ray Robinson fight, apart from he got stopped because the guy could fight better on the inside, was a better puncher. Do you understand? My question to Cameron is this: if you're going to call David Avaneysan a European fighter, then what would you call Ray Robinson? Would you call him European level as well? So I don't know. Yeah, actually, valid point there, Michael. I think that's a great point you've made there. Even Joe Calzacchi's father, Enzo Calzacchi, was brilliant. Yes, he did get stopped. He did get stopped. Did get stopped. So those are my thoughts. But certainly, Josh Kelly needs to have a serious think about what he's doing, where he's going, what his outlook on life is as a fighter. If I were managing Josh Kelly before he went to any other trainer, I would sit down and ask him some serious questions. Bro, where are you going with this? Where are you going with this act? Where are you going with this circus act? What I mean, if this is what it is, then you better pack your bags up and go. You're in the wrong division to be dropping your hands in front of guys that can punch, and there are guys who can punch harder than him. Can you imagine that was Sean Porter in there? God forbid, could you imagine if that was Errol Spence in there? Would you like to see Danny Garcia versus Josh Kelly? See, Josh Kelly versus Conor Benn, the interesting fight there. The fight I think Kelly could win. But we know that once he gets put on Kelly, he don't like it. But Adam move is not a good idea. No improvement. Josh Kelly just got a beautiful jab. It wasn't that beautiful. And how long did it last for? Yeah, but like I said, Dylan White, Povetkin, bWTM. Your thoughts? My thoughts are, if they think it was a mistake and they think that they're in control of the fight and they don't have to make any changes, White will get knocked out again. If they've learnt from their mistakes and they don't take an arrogant approach, and they would give Povetkin the respect he deserves, and they learn to tie Povetkin up and don't get caught in exchanges and be cleaner with their work, then they could beat Povetkin. Povetkin's there to be beaten, but Michael Hunter couldn't do it. And Michael Hunter came charging out. And Michael Hunter threw more punches than Dillian White. You know what I mean? I always look back to Michael Hunter fight. So if they don't learn from their mistakes, and it's not like they're not going into the fight the winners, they're going into the fight the losers. They're going into the fight having been knocked out. They're not going. People talking like if Dillian White won the fight, he got knocked out by one shot, and now you're gonna have to ask Dillian White to box. I prefer old Dillian White, to be honest. But again, he's been knocked down in previous fights to guy like Rivas and Parker. So there was no surprise at all for me when he got knocked out by Povetkin. None whatsoever. Dillian White could be trouble Captain Hook season. Povetkin, no joke. No joke whatsoever, man. Povetkin's a real deal. I don't know why people thought it was a foregone conclusion that White was going to beat him in the first place. This is the second Olympian that White's fought, and the second Olympian he's been beat by. So, Dillian White, new heavyweight trainer. Harold the Shadow Knight? Well, you've got Howard the Shadow Knight in there, and he's got his other trainer in there as well. So, I mean, how does that camp go? You've got two trainers in there now. So, it means just in the dynamics. If the camp's gone well, that's going to help Dillian. If the camp hasn't gone well and there's more confusion in that camp, if there's confusion in the camp, then we'll know. But the fight's in Gibraltar now, so we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Right, let me quickly. All right, I'll talk about Rylan Charlton as well. Briefly, my thoughts on the Ryan Charlton fight. Ryan Charlton did not fight anywhere near the way I thought he was going to fight. I was actually surprised in the way Ryan Charlton went about his business. I don't know if he was overcome by the whole experience. Congratulations to Fabian, by the way. He did a really good job. He had a beautiful jab, whipped in the uppercuts, nice right hands and left hooks. He used a good Marko through nice combinations. I was really impressed with that. Ryan Charlton, and I was shocked to see he did not throw the uppercut in the fight when he was up close. I was surprised he allowed Marko to get out the side door so many times. He allowed Marko to navigate himself around the ring. When he had him, closed him down, he didn't throw the hooks when he should have thrown them. Instead, he was looking to win with one big left hook all the time. He had showed the power to hurt him. But to me, I just felt that Charlton went out there to set a pace. But I didn't know what the game plan was. If it was to break him down, then when he got to the ropes, at times he smothered his work sometimes. So I was pretty disappointed in what the plan was. I thought he would have made Marko walk onto shots rather than like how he made Laws walk onto shots. Instead, he chased the fight, and by chasing the fight, he walked onto shots instead. So I was disappointed in Charlton in the way he went about that. I think Charlton. I like Charlton. I think he's got a lot of potential. He's still young in his career, but I think now's the time that if he needs to go full time. If he can go full time in boxing, I think he should go full time in boxing. I know he's doing stuff in a care home as well. I think he needs to go full time into boxing. I think he's got a career there. He took a hell of a lot of shots tonight. And stoppage was the right stoppage. I was just disappointed because he took a whole heap of punches he didn't need to take. I'd like to see him work better on the inside when he gets his opportunity to work better on the inside. Slip, catch and shoot. So there's some things about Charlton. I thought he would have, when he saw that Marko was getting the better of him, I thought instead of him charging against Marko all the time, he just stepped off. It's all right. A lot more feints. Let Marko come to him. I just didn't see any feints. I just saw him going out round after round. And yeah, the body shots. And there was a window of opportunity for Charlton to maybe come back and close the fight off. But yeah, Marko, the bigger guy, physically stronger guy in there for sure. I would even consider taking Charlton. So you know what? Let's see you at light welterweight rather than see you at welterweight. Let's see you at light welterweight. Let's see how you do there. There's some big. Marko's a big welterweight. Let's drop you down in weight, and let's see what you can do at a lower weight division. You showed you got a great chin. You got decent work rate. But I want to see in terms of your training now. Let's work on how you cut the ring off. Let's see you work into the body better. Let's see you bringing those body shots up through the middle, uppercuts. So the body shot, the uppercut, ripping the body shot up with the uppercut and bringing the left hook right hand combination. I didn't see that. I didn't see that from a guy who was prowling on the attack like a Mike Tyson. I didn't see that. I saw all the head movement, but when you got inside, I didn't see that little bit of devil in your work. I didn't see any imagination. I didn't see any creativity. I just saw the same old plod, get forward, body shot, and missing with the left hook. So I don't know if the occasion got to Charlton. I don't know if Charlton went in there and found out this guy was better than he thought he was. I don't know if Charlton went in there thinking, I'm just going to go and do what I did against Laws. I'll do it again. I have a bit of a chance. I'll do that. Or just the game plan was a bit shocking. Or he is a part-time fighter and he's not boxing full-time. I don't know what it is. But it just didn't seem the same guy. Or maybe he's So they were calling about it one-dimensional. Well, maybe his game plan was pretty one-dimensional. I'm not sure if Charlton is a one-dimensional fighter, but I do know that the game plan was pretty one-dimensional. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see about Charlton. But I'd like to see him drop down in weight, or I would love to see him fight Josh Kelly. That's a fight I'd love to see, because Kelly's not a big puncher. He's there to be hit, and it's a good fight for Charlton to come back in against a guy that's there to be hit. They've both come off a loss now. They've both been stopped. Josh Kelly, Rylan Charlton. I would love to make that fight. Love to make that fight. Love to make that fight. All right. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, really appreciate you all. Thank you for the love. 3 million views for bWTM online. So our other channel's got 3 million views, and this channel is closing on 3 million views as well. So have a great night, and enjoy the rest of boxing.